So hey, it's been a while since I posted, so I wanted to kind of give everybody an update on where we are with the Healthcare Mafia documentary and sort of my experience as of late with working with a new contractor. So I was a contractor with a past conviction, like everybody knows, and I openly put this out there on YouTube and within the Healthcare Mafia documentary and have posted significantly about what took place at Citrus Health Plan, including, the polygraphs that were done and chasing down witnesses now that have come forward and kind of our post to former attorneys and the prosecutor and judges. So, I openly say everything that happened and what took place and how the conviction, went south. So this should be easily founded on a simple Google search, right? So everybody knows about it and I don't hide it. When someone asks me about it, I simply tell them everything that happened. So over the past 10 weeks, 12 weeks, I had a new contract and I had with Mirra Healthcare in Spring Hill, Florida. And Mirra is a third-party administrator for Medicare Advantage plans. And I simply sent them an email saying, hey, I can do contract work for you. I can do configuration work. I met with their VP of operations, a guy named Maru, at Starbucks coffee shop, and he simply didn't ask any questions. He just said, you have a great skill set and something that we can use, and we can do it under a business associate agreement and a service of work order. So I agreed. We agreed on a rate and we agreed on a service of work. And so he drafted all the paperwork, but he literally didn't vet me. He didn't ask for an application. He didn't ask for a social security number. He didn't ask for driver's license. He didn't ask for references. He didn't ask for a website, marketing materials, who I'm working with now, what I'm doing. He didn't ask any questions. And obviously not doing any kind of a background check or validating a person before they start working with you when they're touching PHI is a big issue for Medicare. So CMS has guidelines which require TPAs to screen their contractors before giving them access to protected health information. Usually when I'm working with a health plan, they do that screening and they do ask me about it. And so what they'll do is they will simply change certain aspects of information so that I don't have access to protective health information and I can still get the work done. And it's a very simple process. And then a lot of the work that I already do doesn't include protective health information. So all my W-9 work, all my work with regard to provider networking, none of that has access to protective health information. And then kind of outlining how to load a contract doesn't necessarily require me to go through claims, because we can put through dummy claims and then drop them. And then you're just making it up. You're just putting in a dummy form so you can see if it adjudicates appropriately and then it pays appropriately. Anyways, during my time at Mirra, there were a lot of issues. Like there's so many issues here. And I'm beginning to see a practice with certain types of people that come from third world countries. When they come over here and they start doing health plan work, they seem to cut a lot of corners and, well, it just goes to shit. So the first thing I noticed was their HIPAA violations. So obviously with their lack of screening and their lack of vetting, I knew, okay, they probably have a whole lot of HIPAA issues here. So they don't have any encryption, number one. I've never seen any encryption go out to any provider outside of their system. They'll just email whoever, whatever information. Like there's just no concern for it. But even when I quit the company, even when I terminated my own contract, they didn't terminate my access for 3 days. I had to get a hold of the lawyer and I had to tell the lawyer, you guys didn't terminate my access. And then, and only then, did they terminate the access. But it doesn't even stop there, because then they left all the PHI on my devices. So they left it on my laptop and they left the information on my mobile device. So I had all of these emails containing protected health information on these devices. But really, the situation is really easy. Like if you're in healthcare for any length of time, you can go into Office 365 and you can just remove the mailbox from ever being seen. Like that's a standard practice. You just wipe the mailbox from the devices. Well, that didn't happen for more than 20 days. And I was going crazy because I have people accessing my own device to get W-9s. So then it's a matter of me kind of losing work because now I got to migrate stuff. And, their attitude is, well, just pretend that it didn't happen and we'll just let it go. So I notified them again that, look, it's 20 days later and you just wiped my device just now. So that takes place, and I notify them again through their lawyer, Lester Perling. But then an unusual thing happens because I start getting emails from people I've never met that used to work at Mirra. And they were telling me that on the same day mine was wiped, my devices were wiped, their devices were wiped, and they had left the company 10, 12 months before me. So I'm thinking to myself, what probably happened is I notified them and made a big deal out of it, that their lack of compliance to this issue, that they probably just went through everybody who left the company over the last year and just eliminated everybody's access to it, which is fine, but it's a little late. And so that means that there's some required disclosures, not only because Mirra themselves are a business associate of covered entities, but they are now required to, number one, tell them, well, no, you didn't vet me, and you left all this PHI on people's equipment for a long period of time. So we'll see if they actually ever do that. So then one of the other big issues is the fact that how they handle W-9s. So I've never seen this at any health plan that has such a problem with obtaining W-9s. Aetna has a great system. Like, they put everything out on their website on what you need to do. United Healthcare Group has a great system. They have a whole portal where you can upload things into their portal and get themselves paid. But it's a pretty easy system when you figure out what you need to do. Anyway, so here's what Mirra does. If you submit to one of Mirra's 5 health plans and you don't have a W-9, Mirra is going to automatically deny the W-9, which you can't really do. And then they're going to send you a letter. And hopefully you send them the W-9 and then you get paid. Like you do, you get paid from them if you send the W-9. But if you don't get paid, they just straight up denied. You're not getting any money. And that's a big no-no, because these claims are coming in and they're clean. Everything's on there. In fact, even on the claim form is a tax ID number, an appropriate NPI number, the pay to address. All of the claims data is correct. You just don't have the form. So what should happen is they should send a request through the clearinghouse that says we need a tax ID number, and that allows you at that point to go ahead and attach it through the clearinghouse, and then you're able to get paid. But instead what happens is Mirra denies it, and then you don't get your money as a provider or a hospital system or whomever, and the IRS doesn't get their money, and the health plan gets to keep all the money, and that's a huge problem. So this is what the IRS says and CMS says you have to do. If a provider refuses to provide you a TIN or a W-9, let's say a W-9, you are to do as a health plan 24% backup withholding and then pay the balance to the provider until such time as the W-9 comes in the door, and then you can remedy the situation and pay them the full amount. Because these claims are clean, they need to be paid. Then you submit the 24% to the IRS. You give the tax man his money, okay? You don't just let the insurance plan keep the funds. You have to send it off. So Mirra just denies everything, and the insurance company, they get to keep the money. And that's a problem. That's a big problem. So at the end of the day, they have a huge problem with this, because now they have all of these unpaid taxes. Both the health plan has a problem and Mirra has a problem. Not only that, the claim itself is denied using an incorrect code. It's like the C0026 that they're using, and it really shouldn't be. That's just for an incorrect tax ID number, and these are correct tax ID numbers. So what they need to do is identify that on the remittance advice that they're going to withhold it for a tax code 105 and then process the payment through. There's no reason to withhold it. Here's where the health plans have a big issue. Number one, you're keeping money that's not due you. Number two, your claims report are incorrect. So you should have to go back and restate your claims report, because these were all claims that you denied. So there's also interest due for all of these providers. Number two, there's taxes owed, because you didn't give the physician the benefit of the payment. They should at least get the credit to the tax man. And so you're going to owe some backup withholdings. But number 3, your issues with the OIR are pretty big too, because these are clean claims that are still a liability. You still owe them. So that means when you filed your OIR reports, you underreported your liabilities. And that's a problem. That's a big problem. So you need to restate those, and you need to own up to your crap. But then on top of that, Mirra still owes me my invoice. I worked for them. I did the job. They didn't have an issue. They wanted me to stay on longer, but I have a big issue with some of the things that they're doing. So I left. I'm not looking to get into trouble. And for some reason, I think that they think that they can hold my previous conviction over my head and just not pay me. Or they think that I'll not go ahead and file a whistleblower complaint. I absolutely will. These lapses that Mirra has puts their health plan clients at risk. They have major healthcare providers, major Medicare Advantage providers throughout Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and now Indiana. And they're at risk for CMN sanctions, OIR fines, whistleblower sanctions. So I'm exposing these issues to protect the patient, to protect the plan going forward, to ensure accountability. Mirra's clients deserve transparency, and they don't get that from Mirra. They get a lot of talking, and they get a lot of promises, but that's the culture that runs Mirra. It's you talk and you talk and you talk and you talk and you talk, and you promise to the very end, and then you don't ever deliver. And that's a problem. It's a compliance problem. And the physicians, the providers that didn't get paid deserve to get paid. So with regard to the healthcare mafia, we've had some movement on them. Obviously, we got a letter from Brad Cicilline that says that Upan Patel actually fabricated emails within the server. So that's moving forward. And I think that obviously he's reluctant to say anything these days. So we have some hoops to jump through with regard to that, but it doesn't matter because we're going to get it done. So if you have faced similar issues with third-party administrators, or if you've faced issues with claims being denied for W-9, put them down in the comments and I'll be happy to address them. Thanks. Talk to you next week.